Good morning and welcome to Cavan TV, a member of the Irish Web TV Media Group. And this morning we're in Cavan Garda station where they're having an open day. And with me to tell us all about that is Inspector Niall McKiernan. Good morning.
Good morning, Anya. You're very welcome to Cavan Garda station to our open day here this morning.
You have a great exciting day planned for the public.
Yes, we've opened the doors of the station to the public here from 11 AM to 3 PM. We have plenty for people to see. We have our various support units here in the backyard. We have our water unit, with colleagues from the dog unit, colleagues from the mounted unit, and our colleagues from the armed support unit, and our public order unit, and our traffic corps. We have plenty for kids and adults to see.
Yeah, a great day for the public to see firsthand, who perhaps people not familiar with the mounted unit, which is possibly based in Dublin only.
That's correct.
So it's a great chance for people to come in and see those things.
Yes.
Do you feel, Inspector, that it's important that people do know all about their police force?
Yes, it's vitally important that people know the services that we provide to the public. And it's a great opportunity for people to come in and get a look at the Garda station. It's a focal point here in the town. It's dead in the middle of the town here, and it's a great opportunity for the people of the Cavan County.
Great. And also as well for members of the public to know that the Garda are on their side, they're there to protect them. There's a friendly face there and all the services that they can offer to protect people.
That's correct, yes. Yeah. It's service with a smile here today at Cavan Garda station.
Okay, so that's great today. So do stay with us on Cavan TV, because actually they are very kindly going to allow us into the Garda station, and we're going to have a look around and we're going to capture all the excitement and the things that are going on here today. Best of luck with your day.
Thank you, Anya.
How are you? All right. How are you doing?
And with me now is Inspector Mick O'Donoghue. I'd like to say thank you, first of all, for allowing us into your Garda station today. A great day in general for the public.
Yes, absolutely. Look, we opened up the station today to welcome the public in to see what we can do for them, the services we have available to them, and just generally to invite people in to say that we're not just here as a police force, we're here to help, and whatever problems they have, they can come in. We mightn't know the answer straight away, but certainly we'll be able to direct them in the right direction to see, can all these situations be resolved. And
my guide for today is Garda Kenny Dolan, and Kenny's tasked with the job of bringing us into the Garda station, showing us the different areas in the Garda station and informing us about the different aspects and the different sections within on Garda Síochána. Thanks, Kenny. I'm looking forward to that.
You're very welcome.
Kenny, first off, where are we going now?
We're going to go out the back of the station where we have some specialist units, and we'll run you through what they all do.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so Kenny, who have we here?
Here is Garda Michael Higgins. He's attached to the regular unit, but also he's involved with community policing, and you'll see Michael out and about on the mountain bike.
Okay, so you are the community Garda, so it really is community, out and about in the community.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's just a face that people, the public can recognise. I do spend a lot of my time going up through the estates in the town, talking to people, talking to residents, so any issues that they may have, be it kids congregating and just maybe causing a hassle sometimes, just a friendly face that Absolutely. They can talk to.
It's great for the people to know that the Garda is there, a friendly face, so you're approachable and say
exactly,
if they have a little difficulty, whatever, you're there on the ground to help out.
Exactly, yeah, and just somebody that they can relate to, somebody's the face that they know, and they can come to me anytime if they have any problem, that we are there to help out.
And just what we have here now is what I feel is a very important aspect within the Garda Síochána is the traffic corps, who are out. They're in charge of road policing, and we have Sergeant James Gallagher here, who's the sergeant in charge of the Cavan traffic corps here in Cavan.
Okay, Sergeant Gallagher, thank you for talking to us.
You're welcome.
Traffic corps. Now, some people would say that we're not seeing enough of the traffic corps on the roads these days.
Yes, our numbers have been reduced in recent years due to retirements and the general reduction of members throughout the force. However, here in Cavan, in County Cavan, we have a good number of members attached to the Traffic Corps, and all our new probationers are getting their experience in Traffic Corps as well, and we're out on the roads as often as we can be.
Duties of Traffic Corps.
Duties of the Traffic Corps are protection of all road users on the road in relation to our lifesaver offences, which are speeding, non-wearing of seatbelts and the use of mobile phones, and also drink and drug driving. And that's new legislation that has come in this year, is drug driving. We have now machines where we're capable of testing for opiates, cocaine, benzos and cannabis. Our main aim that everyone can come and go on the roads as safely as possible.
And it's not up to the Garda to keep us safe on the roads. Would you like to tell people in general driving on the roads like their duty in keeping the roads safe?
Yes, I'll give you an example. We call to the creches where you have 4-year-olds. It's beep beep day, and we do something with the wee ones that's 4, that when their mummies and daddies are bringing them home, that if they see mummy or daddy on the phone, we tell them to tell mummy and daddy to stop the car. And an example of that is, I was picking up children in the creche myself one evening, and another father says to me, "What did you tell them yesterday? I was going home and the young fella started shouting at me to stop the car, daddy," and he kept at it. So it is working that way. So we educate from an early age in the preschools of our offences of being driving while on the mobile phone, driving without a seatbelt, or speeding, and it's up to every driver's responsibility to adhere to the rules of the road.
Well, that's great stuff, folks. And as you know, years ago, people did drink and drive. It was the culture, but nowadays, no, you don't do it. And the morning after is actually very important as well. So it's great to see that in the creches they're giving the children the culture of their parents safe driving in the car, and that's the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So Kenny, we're getting down to really serious stuff here. We're
Serious
with the
business
ASU, which is the Armed
Support Unit. Yeah,
Okay.
they're attached to the northern region, and they'll be based in either Dundalk or Ballyshannon, and they will cover this region as well. Okay. And we've Garda Kenburk.
And we've Garda Kenburk from the Armed Sports Unit. Right, really getting down to serious stuff here.
This is, we're based in Dundalk, Garda Station, as Kenny said. The Armed Support Unit covers the northern region. There's Armed Support Units covering the whole country, and if local Gardaí require our services for an armed situation, then we can provide that support by attending it in our cars. We patrol the area, so we'll be in Cavan most days on patrol if the Gardaí requires.
So just for the people out there, ye are very specifically trained for this job.
Yeah, we all start off as regular Gardaí on the regular units, every one of us. And then we go through an extensive training programme and fitness programme in order to get this. So we train in driving, firearms, method of entry, car stopping, first aid, emergency first responders, and a load of other courses.
Okay, so we have lots of fascinating stuff here. Maybe you'd like to tell us, point out some of the stuff.
This is what we have actually for house entry. We have the Enforcer, and we have the Halligan 2, which is also both used. This is a hinge ripper also for doors, and then we have lock breaking equipment as well, and sledgehammers. We also have a ladder if we need to get access to the rear of a property or to the upstairs of a property in a hurry. We're also, in the case that a car has been involved in an incident and needs to be stopped, whether it could be involved in a robbery or burglary, we have the Stinger, which is the vehicle stopping device, which is there. It folds up in a suitcase and we can extend it across the width of a road. We're also trained, as I said, in emergency first responder techniques, so we actually have a medical bag which is also there. There's oxygen, there's a defibrillator we carry around. Some of our colleagues have been involved in very situations where medical assistance is required to give to people prior to the arrival of an ambulance.
Okay, and speaking to one of your colleagues earlier, you also carry a taser?
We also carry a taser. This, just to show that this mannequin here is actually, we wear this normal uniform, but when we're going on a house entry situation or a situation which requires different capabilities, we can wear this ballistic vests, ballistic helmets, and if required, we also have CBRN, in other words, a mask for certain situations where there could be gas or chemicals. We have that capability. We carry firearms, conventional firearms. We actually carry a pistol, which is here, and we also carry a taser, as you said. So the taser is actually a less lethal device, which is actually used then for a situation where a person has maybe a weapon like a knife that actually could be required, let's say, to either to harm us or harm themselves. So it's a case that somebody could be required, that need them to drop the knife. You use the taser, you put on the cartridge, you fire the cartridge, and it actually the electricity actually in the taser actually disarms them, and then it can be treated as or arrested as appropriate. We actually also carry, apart from a pistol, we carry a submachine gun, which is an MP7 as well, which is contained in the rear of the vehicle. We carry different sprays and other different less lethal devices that we use for different situations, depending on it, if we are entering houses or or trying to disarm people.
Okay, Anya, what we have here now, we've people will see it maybe mainly on weekend nights, is the public order van.
Yeah.
And
very familiar sites around.
Very familiar site, and it's a great asset to have in relation to public order. This guy that's dressed here with the helmet and the boiler suit, Garda Keneally, he'd be public order trained. Some of the bigger stations would have.
So just for the people to know that he's a regular Garda, but specially trained in public order duties.
Regular uniform guard, and a lot of the regular guards would be trained in public order, and they'd be you'd see them at major sporting events where there might be crowd trouble. You'd need them for crowd control situations, maybe riot situations or the likes of that. Thankfully, it doesn't go on too often here in Cavan. Who again, like I say, is attached to the regular unit here in Cavan Garda Station, and he's trained in public order unit, so he'll be able to fill you out.
Okay, Garda, yeah. You're all dressed up.
Yeah, for the day, yeah, nice and warm, and I won't feel the cold today.
So, regular member of the Garda first, and then specially trained in public order.
Public order, yeah. So day to day is just here with Kenny or any of the rest of the lads in the regular unit. Then for any special events, we'll say the Queen's visit there a few years ago, Prince Charles' visit, we're deployed then just in case that if there is trouble or anything like that, or if there is a potential for, we'll say, violence on the street or anything like that, we'd be deployed then. Mainly just to nip it in the bud and just stop it before it starts.
So you could be in Cavan working one morning and then suddenly be called to maybe
Dublin, Donegal, wherever, yeah, absolutely, wherever. Generally, well beforehand when there is a major event coming up. But if there was something to happen on spec, we'll say, yeah, you could be called straight. Mainly it's just as a preventative measure,
So you're mainly there to prevent big crowds and events like that?
Yeah, just to be on call and be ready in case the worst does happen, yeah.
Okay, well done. Well, thanks for talking to us on Cavan TV.
No problem, thank you.
How are you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Hello, Mark. Lovely to see you. How are you?
How are you, Brian? This is a great idea.
This is great. Of course, the one thing that's getting loads of attention today is the mounted section here. This is the Mounties.
The mounted unit, yeah. We've Garda police here from the mounted unit who very kindly have given up their time for today. She's on her own horse, Leach, who's 9-year-old. You'll see them mainly big sporting events. A lot of the places that people see them, All Ireland Day, when you're on your way down to Crow Park, they're there for crowd control. They can manage to close off the road just by pulling the harness. Garda Police will be able to fill you on a great asset.
Garda Police, high up there on your horse.
Good morning, good afternoon.
You're up on your high horse.
I am indeed, yes.
Well done, causing the children are really excited about this.
They are very, the children love to see the horses coming.
Okay, so I guess before you were a Garda you loved horses.
I did, yeah. I rode horses, as a child and all the way along, and then decided I was attached to Blanchardstown Garda Station. When the mounted unit came up 12 years ago, I applied and was successful.
So you and your colleague there. So tell us a little bit about your work.
Okay.
Although Garda Dolan has told me something, but go ahead. Tell me your day's work.
My day's work, it very varied. We could be at lots of different events. The summertime is extremely busy. An awful lot of sporting events, agricultural events, and then you've got our regular patrolling downtown. I did a checkpoint there recently, and some builders came up and said they'd never been stopped with a horse in a checkpoint before. But yeah, things like that we do. We use the horse just as a different mode of transport. So instead of patrol car, we use the horse. So we can do regular patrolling, but then we do also do a lot of different events.
People stand well back from the horse. Now, as you can see, there's all sorts of things going on here. Noises, sirens going off, lots of loud noises. Not in one way spooked at all.
No. It is the breed of the horse we use. We use the indigenous Irish draft. They are very suitable for the type of work we do. They're very quiet, strong, and they can stand for long periods of time, but also the training they get. We do a lot of repetition work, building up the horse slowly, familiarity with the noises and stuff like like that. So this guy Eliac has been at the ploughing all week, so he's well used to crowds, noises and all that kind of stuff.
Doesn't mind people coming up and touching him and things like that?
No, the only thing we would not require them to do is feed the horses, because then they would look for food and they could become a bit snappy, so we don't feed them on patrol.
He wants to work.
Once he hears the so he's going to kick off,
Right, okay.
He wants to work.
So what colour has he on?
it's time to go.
It's a tracking collar at the moment. Yeah.
You're a bad guy.
So Kenny, another very popular is the dog unit.
Dog unit is very, very popular here today, and we've Garda Homan here from the National Support Services in Dublin. This dog is actually attached to Kilmainham, and just by a phone call they'll come nationwide anytime we need them. Different types of dogs, public order dogs, tracking dogs. This particular dog we have here is a 2-year-old German Shepherd, and Garda Homan, it's actually his dog. The dog goes home with him, lives with him, with the family and the whole lot. Garda Homan will be able to tell you a wee bit more about him.
Hello Garda Homan. Thank you. I believe you've got Gunther with you today.
This is Gunther, yeah. Gunther is a German Shepherd. He's a sable-coloured German Shepherd, and he comes from a working line. It's his birthday next month. He'll be 2, and he's trained in general purpose. So general purpose would basically he'd be tracking for missing persons, persons of vulnerable persons, and he'll also be used for crowd control and public order events and stuff like that.
We saw you let him out earlier, and we saw that he was mad to go.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He knows once he gets out of the van, it's more or less it's work, and then just with all the activity that's going on and the lights and sirens, he just thinks it's work, it's time to go, you know, kind of way.
So actually Gunther is your dog?
Gunther comes home and lives with us, yeah. After 16 weeks training now, he comes and he lives with us at home, yeah, when we're finished our tour of duty.
So day to day, in the dog unit, how many other dogs are there in the unit?
Well, in the unit in Dublin now, there's approximately 16 of us. There's been a big intake this year, where there's been 8 of us only started in March. Then there's 2 handlers down in Cork, and there's 2 handlers down in Limerick as well.
Okay, so duties that Gunther does, you say tracking,
public order, crowd control. It'd be known as a general purpose dog. There are other specialist dogs we have, which will be for drugs, firearms, explosives, money, but they're different disciplines.
Okay, so your day-to-day duties?
Day-to-day duties, we're on patrol. If anyone needs assistance, they could request our services. Again, depending on what the requirement is. If it was for a general purpose dog, for missing persons, Gunther could be used. But then again, if it's for any drug searches, again, one of the specialist dogs. Okay. It depends on the request that comes in.
So he's actually a very, very integral part of the Garda force?
Yeah, he's very important.
Dog like him and their duties?
Absolutely, yeah. Again, we're a small unit, but they're very good, and it's very impressive what they can do.
Okay, Anya, so who we have here is Garda Noel Harry. He's a crime prevention officer. Very important role in the Garda Síochána as well, and Noel will be able to fill you out exactly what he does.
Well, hello, no, you're no stranger to Cavan TV at all.
I'm afraid not.
We had you before on the actual subject of crime prevention, and indeed today it is even more so important for public for crime prevention.
Definitely so. I suppose there's more things out there to be on the alert for, and again, you know, as society gets bigger and different people are circulating more, so again, and then the opportunity for crime is always there, and there's always people there to take advantage of those sort of situations.
Yeah. And I do know that you do go around to events and you do speak to groups. They ask you in to speak, to give people in general kind of like basic stuff, functions that they can do themselves to keep safe.
Exactly, and again, it's the basics. You know, it always goes back to the basics, and just being aware of what's going on around you. You know, sometimes we can get kind of careless, and I won't say lackadaisical, but that little bit more careless about. You get maybe sometimes over trusting and situations. Yeah. You just don't pay heed to what you should be looking at.
And of course, the opportunists are always out there.
The opportunists is always there, and the more so than the home security again. It's just a simple thing about keeping the doors closed and the windows, the doors locked and the windows closed, and setting the alarm if you have it, and one thing another. And it's the basics. And then the other thing I suppose that's getting very common lately as well is the scams, the different scams. I was
just going to say that to you. They're getting more and more prevalent.
Yeah, exactly. And the cybercrime type situation and the cyberbullying. And funny, I just was on to there's an internet office actually in the Department of Justice, and I got a lot of this information from them here as well. Okay. So we have a couple of booklets here today
on
internet safety.
Yeah.
Well, you're never on top of it because it's always changing. There's always new sort of scams ones coming on board, and it's just being aware that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You know,
so
that's just be
for
aware
the public out there that are listening and saying, so they might not even know they've been scammed. So out there, if somebody even thinks they're being scammed, who do they do? Who do they ring? What do they do if they want to contact the Garda?
Number one, if there's somebody on the phone, number one, if they think there's something wrong, just terminate the phone call. Never give any bank details over the phone to anybody. Never, because again, you get people on at the moment claiming they're from a security section of a bank and start looking for your account number.
Banks don't do that.
No, you don't part with that information. And then you get other ones that are there and they're looking for you to hand over money to pay to Western Union or some of them services there. You know, once you hear that, don't
do that. Of course, there is the Garda confidential line.
Yeah, it's 1-800-666-111.
So anything at all, you feel you've been scammed or even a piece of information to the Garda, that's the number to ring. And Garda are always at the end of that line to take the call and work on it.
They are, and again, if they want to call into any of the Garda stations as well, you know, they're more than welcome. You know, Cavan station is 24 hours, Bailieborough station is 24 hours.
And just perhaps as well, Sergeant Harry, to assure people that they're not wasting Garda time.
They're definitely not wasting Garda time, because you know, it's, if we don't know about it, you know, the rest of the community aren't going to learn about it.
So again, that's it, folks. Important. The Garda are there to help us, you and I, to live in peace and safe.
Okay, Anya, what we have here is the Garda water unit. They're down, giving up their time as well, taking down one of the ribs. We've Garda Larkin Byrne and Garda Brian Moore here, and they'll be able to fill you out on what they do.
Okay, so guys, explain the Garda unit,
not just Garda water unit. Predominantly, it's used to be made up of the Garda Subacquea unit, but then when we got a couple of patrol boats back here nearly 20 odd years ago, it's 2000, it's turned into the Garda water unit. Predominantly, we're all divers. There's 2 Marine members left, but everyone else who was brought into the unit now is trained as both a Marine member and a diving member. So it's pretty much like joining any other specialist unit in Garda Síochána. First and foremost, you're a member of Garda Síochána. You'd be on the beat in the station. An opportunity comes to maybe join the water unit, you can apply to join, just like some in the mounted unit, the air support unit, the dog unit. I myself been in the water unit 11 years. Brian's been in it nearly 17 years. So so majority of the times we provide water-based experience and expertise to any Garda station in the country or any divisional or district officer. So if an incident was to happen here in the Cavan district, the superintendent would make a request of our superintendent for members of the water unit to attend, and we would provide our expertise, our knowledge in how to either provide, say, security on water, search underwater, or provide, say, like a security cordon.
So that's what I was going to ask you what you do. And Brian, you were telling me that you have got 2 units just only in Ireland.
Yeah, we're a nationwide unit, but we've 2 units based, one in Athlone and one based in Santry.
So on a full day's work, how many members in the unit totally?
On a full day, well, we work opposite each other. We only cross over twice. But say in a one day it'd be 9 of us. So you'd have a full dive team of 5 plus working at any time.
So you're obviously, like all of the other units, specially trained, divers specially trained. So you would assist the Garda in looking for bodies or looking for evidence or looking for drugs maybe or anything like that?
Yeah, looking, say if a knife went in or a gun in the course of a robbery into the Liffey or the Shannon, we'd be called upon to retrieve that for evidence. We do a good bit of missing person searches as well. And
not a very nice part of the job, I'm sure.
Well, for us it's just another part of the job, and it can be very rewarding as well, because you're giving back a loved one to a family, so it can be very rewarding.
You're going to tell me what it is, the helicopter to arrive.
I think I was probably more excited to see it coming than anybody else.
The crowds here, all the children, they're mad to get on this helicopter.
Brilliant to see it, and the kids love to see it, and I think a lot of the Garda that are here.
Yeah.
I think they're very impressed with us.
Okay, so you're the pilot, and I just overheard you saying that it was quite tricky to land.
Yeah, actually, no, it's actually an Air Corps pilot. He's gone off hiding somewhere. The guards just operate the equipment on board.
Okay,
yeah, but it's tricky to come in because the wind is blowing in and it's coming across the buildings. So it's churning up, and then with the high trees, the steeple, and all these lights. So basically, I sit in the back. And I talk the pilot in. So the main important thing is we have to make sure the tail doesn't clip any trees or lights.
Okay.
So you might have seen me, I'd be hanging out the back, watching the back, talking to the pilot. And we'd be talking down in feet. So I'd be giving him 60, forward, descending, and it just kind of, he'd be then taking that on board. And he'd be putting on the power then, so he wouldn't drop out of the sky.
It looked like a fantastic landing.
Oh, it was great.
So, okay, just get to. I know everybody's so excited. They want to get talking. They want to get touching the helicopter. But just briefly, your duties as the Garda.
Basically, we're there to support the lads on the ground. So if there's missing persons or car chases or rural crime like burglaries, if offenders go to the fields and things like that, we try and get up here as quickly as possible.
So you're there at night time with those lights and you can shine them down. As like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have a night sun. We've thermal image cameras. And we've night vision goggles now as well, so it opens up the whole country for us, you know.
Okay, so many of these helicopters are
We've 2 helicopters. This is the older one. This is Echo 256 and Echo 272 as well. So that has better equipment on board.
So well done. Everybody's dying to get out. And thanks very much. And
no, you're very welcome.
Great landing.
Oh, thanks a million. Yeah,
Let's go.
It was brilliant.
Well, here we have Garda Cahill Buggy, one of the main organisers for the event today, and our own boss, Superintendent Cavan.
Superintendent Cohen, I have to say congratulations on today. A great public relations event, an absolutely brilliant day, well organised. I'm sure you're very pleased of your force today.
Very pleased, but not surprised, because we've had open days here in the past, and it's really the people that makes the open days, not so much the guards. But it's a great opportunity for people to come and see and interact with us in the station in what's a very relaxed situation, and it's especially pleasing to see all the young people that's here. But I do want to give a big word of congratulations to Cahill and Inspector Niall McKieran and Inspector McDonough, all the people that have organised this, because it doesn't go without organising and getting all of these resources in place. But we also want to say a very big thank you to our specialist units, the regional support unit, the air support unit, our water unit, and all the other units that's here, but also the other emergency services, which we couldn't do without, and we work very, very well together with.
Fire Brigade service.
But I'm not surprised at all, because we have great support from the people in Cavan, and we know that on a day-to-day basis in very serious situations, and we get what I would call unqualified support and also very, very quiet support, because they help us really every day in policing in County Cavan.
So Garda Buggy, I'm hearing your name all over the place today saying it's all organised and well done by Garda Buggy.
Well, no, definitely not. You go across there's about 40 members of the Garda Síochána that are in here this morning since 9 o'clock and last night, just getting the place ready, and the build up during the weeks as well. So like I say, as the Super said, it would be no success without having the local people here that came, but you know, the lads have all put great work into it, and it's just great to see so many young people enjoying themselves today, and old people.
A very successful day. But one thing, and thanks I'd like to say to Garda Kenny Dolan as well, is that, like, I know myself I would be ignorant of the different fractions within the Garda, the different units within the Garda, and I must say that you gave great information in explaining what each unit does, like the aqua unit, the horse, the mounted unit, the dog unit, and explaining the ASU unit, everything. Great explanations and great information for the public.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, and like I say, as we said earlier on in the week, a lot of people come into, the only thing they see the guards is the front desk or the car maybe in town. But you know, it was nice to come in and see what everyone does. Like I say, there's so many different things that the guards do that people don't see on a daily basis. So even to see like the mounted unit and that there was great.
And also, Superintendent, I was speaking to Inspector Niall McKiernan earlier, and he was saying that people most times come into a Garda station in distress.
Absolutely.
But like, that's the message that you're trying to convey today. It's not all about that you're there as a support in many other different ways.
Well, we'd far rather be known to help people and to advise people. And some people, it's the last resort when they come to a Garda station. It's to make a complaint. It's maybe on the other side of the coin, it's when they're arrested and detained after committing an offence. But like, we do an awful lot of work with juveniles, with the schools, and you know what? Most of the population of County Cavan are very law-abiding. But we are there, and I would just want to send out this message to help.
And that is the message that came from today's open day, that the Garda are here to help. They have different services within the service. They are there to help, not when it happens, but maybe before it happens. And I've caught up with John Paul Feely and Brendan Smith, who are enjoying the open day today, and a great day. I was just talking to Superintendent Cohen there. He's very pleased with today.
Oh, absolutely, and the huge turnout here in the Garda station since 11 o'clock this morning, and over here now when the aerial unit, the helicopter arrived, and all the display, the horses from the mounted unit, the emergency response unit, the special detective unit, seeing it all facets of the Garda operation, and meeting the local personnel as well, the people who know Superintendent Cohen, Inspector Donoghue, Inspector McKieran, and all their colleagues. It's great to meet them, and they know so many of the local community.
It really is. It's an exciting part of the Garda work.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for locals who don't get to see the in-depth activity of the Garda to come visit the Garda station, see what happens there, see the various aspects of the Garda work, and the different units that are there. It's great for children, but it's great for older people too, that we all have the big child in us, and we're all fascinated by the helicopter arriving here, by the sub-aqua unit, by the horses,
Gunter the dog,
and by the dog unit, and indeed the emergency response unit, which is very reassuring to know that there's one in the region, but one that you don't really want to see doing too much work.
Of course, as Superintendent Cohen said, that you work closely with other services, and we can see some of these services here today outside the courthouse.
That's correct, yeah. We have Cavan County Civil Defence ambulances here just on show, and we have also the Fire Brigade. The Fire Brigade is we work very closely with Cavan County Council, Fire Brigade, traffic accidents, fires, anything like that there, we have a great relationship with them. Also with the paramedics that are driving the ambulances around here, we have a great relationship with them. We're dealing with them on a daily basis, be it traffic accidents, like I said, or maybe fires or the likes of that. Our main role when it comes to fires, we'll block off traffic, let the lads do their work, and ladies, and again, traffic accidents, they help us blocking off the roads. The work they do is phenomenal.
So their work is equally as important as Garda.
Very, very, very important, without a shadow of a doubt. Very, very important.
They're all trained personnel, trained in rescue and life support and all that kind of thing.
Highly trained personnel, and absolutely very professional.
Good. Honey, I'm shrunk the guy. Brilliant. It's very great excitement up there. Okay, so this is the public office, a hive of activity. Everything starts and goes from here.
That's correct, yeah. To be your first point of contact when you come in the main doors, you're up to the hatch here, and it's your first interaction you'd have face-to-face with a guard in the station. Everything's controlled from here. Our phone lines come in here, our radio lines, dealing with members of the public at the hatch, be it to sign in forms, giving advice.
How many Garda would be in duty at any given time here?
Depending on mainly maybe one person. Possibly two people in the office. If we have with resources and everything, we try and get maybe two, because you're dealing with people in custody as well. So they'd be a priority. You'd want one person dealing with them at all times, and maybe the office here being manned at all times because people ringing, and again the radios and people calling to the hatch here.
Okay, so speaking of custody, you are going to bring us around and you're going to show us other little parts of the station that perhaps the public might not see. So there are three Garda holding cells here in Garda Station, and Garda Dolan is very kindly going to let us into one of the cells.
Yeah, like I say, there's three. You'll see the blue buttons on top here flashing. It's where there's an alarm button inside. Any person that's in custody, if they're looking for our attention, they'll be checked at intervals anyway in 15 to 20 minutes, depending whether they're intoxicated or not intoxicated.
So one person per cell?
One person per cell. One cell, one person. Yeah,
and you just got three in Cavan?
Just three at the minute, yeah. Hopefully,
that works out.
It does. It has to. We have the opportunities of other, the likes of Ballyconnell. If there's an overflow of prisoners, we can go to outside stations.
Okay, so go on, show us the cell. Okay, this is your one and only chance to get a look, perhaps, of a cell, a Garda cell. Okay, now Kenny. So, Kenny, it's pretty basic. You've got a toilet facility there, and you've got a bunk, and that's it.
And that's it, yeah. That's
it. So now, can I, obviously for obvious reasons, people are confined into a cell, but what about the safety of people in cells? Say they've consumed a quantity of drugs or something, and how do you monitor things like that?
Member in charge, like your first priority when there's people in custody here in the station is safety of persons, and anybody that's in custody, they take number one priority for ourselves. We'll be checking them on a regular basis after sleep, and you might let them sleep for a short period of time, but you'd have to wake them, you'd have to rouse them just to make sure everything is okay, and again, everything's documented. So would you have an on-site doctor or anything like that in case of emergency? There's not an on-site doctor. We'd have, like at night, you'd have a doctor on call who are very good. Again, if it's an emergency, like we'd call an ambulance, but there's first aid. Like a lot of the members of the Garda Síochána will be trained in first aid, occupational first aid, or maybe some in advanced first aid if needs be. Yeah, so you do stress that safety of the prisoner is foremost. Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah, it's number one priority for us. So maybe we could turn the tables around here now, Kenny. We're in the interview room. That's correct.
This is where you do the interviews.
This is where we do the interviewing, all right, yeah. But I'm going to let you carry on with the interviews today.
Okay, so what we can see here is we've got a camera there.
Yeah.
And we've got your actual equipment for recording.
Yeah, like it's audio-visual recorded. And
just correct me on this, don't two guards always do an interview?
You'll have two guards, yeah. You'll have two guards seated at one side of the table, and the person is detained in custody.
One guard writes it down.
There'd be one guard writing everything that's said on here is written down. Yeah. But
so that's
it's part and parcel, like, because it's in the caution. It's in the caution, like that. Anything you do say be taken down in writing and maybe given evidence. So it's another aspect of the job, yeah, and it's just one of those things.
Okay. So that's it, folks. We had a really fantastic open day here in Cavan Garda Station. With me now at the end of the day is Inspector Michael O'Donoghue and, of course, Garda Kenny Dolan. But first of all, I would like to thank Garda Dolan very much. You brought us around, you took us around, you explained all the different facets in detail and made it excellent in different details of all the things. I'd like to thank you very much.
Very welcome. It was
Garda Dolan,
pleasure.
for your,
Absolute pleasure.
And I'd like to say to you now, Inspector O'Donoghue, that day, a very successful day. I think it even surprised yourselves.
Yeah, well, look, when we organised it, we didn't know how many people would turn up, but certainly we've been delighted with the crowd that has turned up, and as I said earlier, they're welcome any time to come in if they've any difficulties. So, and indeed, the public showed great interest in the different facets or the different aspects of the Garda, because sometimes a Garda is just a Garda, but it's not. Yes. It's not. No. There are many different aspects and sections in the job, so it's great to have them all here today, so people can just see exactly what's been done. Okay, so now can I pop you the question? If there's one thing that you would like to come out of today, what would it be? I suppose if people just think, like, we're more approachable than people think, and we're there to help them out, so don't ever be afraid to come up to a guard and ask them or tell them what you want. That's it. And I'd like to say thanks once again to Garda Dolan, who actually is the epitome of that Garda, the helpful Garda. I would like to say that, and thank you very much. A fantastic day in Cavan Garda Station, and that's it. You're watching Cavan TV and Irish Web TV Media Group.